l'histoire, la nuit du 30 novembre au 1er décembre 1944. Une nuit de honte, d'ingratitude, d'ignominie.
These words resound within the walls of Thiaroye's community centre. A young theatre group, The Voice of the Voiceless, is rehearsing its latest play, a tribute to the Senegalese infantry killed by the French army at the Thiaroye camp in 1944.
Des traces de sang, des chaussures. J'ai trouvé la plaque de mon grand-père massacré et tué sur cette terre au gilet de Tirailleurs.
I didn't really know the story of the Senegalese Tirailleurs, but after learning it, I felt something very powerful. It cut me to the core, and even though it's sometimes hard to express how we feel, we try to show it through our performances.
The Senegalese Tirailleurs, or riflemen, were a colonial infantry recruited by the French for combat during various battles and wars. This group was enlisted to fight the Nazis in World War II and were later liberated from prison camps in Europe and repatriated back to West Africa. On the 1st of December, several tirailleurs were attempting to claim their pension and were shot dead by French colonial troops.
It's because our schools don't teach this history. Students and even some teachers don't know the story.
In Thiaroye itself, many young people have never heard of the shocking event. Faced with this gap in the curriculum, high school teacher Diana Bassar decided to take matters into her own hands.
Pay attention to your diction and tempo.
For years, she has helped organize Thiaroye's commemorations and keeps the memory alive in her classroom.
I tell my students that since they attend Thiaroye High School, they must learn its history. They must seek out the truth, tell it, and pay homage to these tirailleurs, our grandparents, to honor their memory and history.
Efforts to preserve the history have even led to new discoveries, like at the School of Martyrs, which sits on what was the Tirailleurs' camp.
Over here, a student said they found objects that might have belonged to tirailleurs.
Bullets, helmets, and a soldier's plaque were excavated out of fear of repercussions. The students kept their discoveries hidden for 2 years, much like attempts to silence the voices from 1944. Following the massacre, the colonial administration imprisoned 34 surviving tirailleurs.
There was a trial, convictions, and intimidation to prevent people from speaking out. It became a taboo subject. People were trying to avoid trouble, and so they stayed silent and tried to forget what happened.
Decades of fear and censorship have hindered a full reckoning with the history of Thiaroye. The official death toll remains at 35, but historians estimate it's more likely to be hundreds. Due to incomplete archives, it's difficult to recreate a complete account.
I think there's only one way to uncover the truth about the numbers. If we can't find it in the archives, it's through archaeological excavations. Bones don't move, they don't travel. And today we have archaeologists who are well equipped to do this work.
The former camp is now an urban area. While waiting for excavations and more answers, many cling to symbols like the military cemetery. Every December, the association Thiaroye 44 organise a festival to commemorate the massacre. To ensure the Tirailleurs' story is part of Senegal's collective memory, calls grow louder for state action.
I think it's only right to demand that December 1st be declared Tirailleurs Day, a public holiday, so the Senegalese and Africans can come and honour the memory of these brave men.
In France, this chapter of history is being rediscovered. In late November, President Emmanuel Macron officially recognized 1944 as a massacre and promised French support in establishing the facts behind the horrific event.